Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. This is episode 164. I hope everyone is having a great day, great night, wherever you are around the world. So much to get into on today's show. We have a guest joining us halfway through the show. Before we officially start, make sure to follow the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Thanksgiving week is here. Thanksgiving is 2 days away. A lot of good NFL football on Thursday. 4 games. Great games this past weekend. College football, the last weekend of the regular season. Florida, Florida State, Ohio State, Michigan, the big game, all the rivalry games. Oh, man, I am so excited to talk some college football with you guys. Last weekend of college football, I can't believe it. It's crazy that the regular season is already over. It's crazy to talk about, but we got to talk about this. I got some news in yesterday about Mike Norvell and Florida State. That's the first thing I wanted to talk about with college football before we get into the NFL halfway through the show. Mike Norvell with FSU, I've been teetering back and forth. How have I been feeling about this? Mike Norvell, should he be fired? Should he not be fired? Well, they're 5-6 right now. They're going to play the Florida Gators this Saturday in the Swamp. And Florida State came out and said, we have no plans of firing Mike Norvell. We want to bring him back for the next season. Well, I thought Mike Norvell should have been fired when the Florida State finished 2-10 last year. But so many things have been going through my mind about college football. And it's like, you're just going to fire your coach because you guys suck as a team and this and that. Well, Mike Norvell, it seems like he can recruit. I mean, they're 5-6. They should be much better in the ACC. They have a ton of money. They went out and got Tommy Castellanos from Boston College. But there's just so many ways you can take this. The coaching pool is very, very thin in college football. And that's what I've been seeing as of late. Obviously, you just saw James Franklin with Virginia Tech. Obviously, you just saw Penn State fire James Franklin, You saw Lane Kiffin, the whole situation there. LSU fired Brian Kelly. Florida fired Billy Napier. I drew a blank there for a second. There's been so many college football coaches that have been fired. California's coach just got fired. Brent Pry from Virginia Tech was fired earlier this year. So there's just a lot going on in the college football landscape with firing coaches. Do I think Florida State should fire Mike Norvell after this season? I personally think they should, but they're not going to do that, as they said that they are going to bring him back. But Florida State needs to tell Mike Norvell this. Mike Norvell, you have one more year to turn this ship around. We are one of the top programs. Florida State is one of the top programs in college football history. 3 national championships, Heisman winners, Jameis Winston, Charlie Ward, you name it. Pipeline to the NFL. There is no excuses why Florida State should be in this position they are. They should be dominating the ACC. They have a ton of money, and you can say it's a knack on Mike Norvell. It's the players, but the excuses have run out. Mike Norvell, you have 1 season left, just like how the Gators gave Billy Napier 1 season left. Now, I know Mike Norvell's buyout is extremely large, as well as his entire coaching staff, totaling $100 million. But Mike Norvell, you have 1 season left. There's no more excuses. And that's exactly how I feel about the whole Mike Norvell situation. There's no more. The time has run out on Mike Norvell. And the thing is, if he loses to Florida this weekend and they're not bowl eligible, oh my gosh, that's going to be an embarrassment. The Gators, as a Gator alumni and fan, we are terrible this year. 1 weekend we're good, 1 weekend we're bad. My chips have been. I have completely sailed off on the Gators after that 31-11 loss to Tennessee. But the situation with Mike Norvell is just mind-boggling. It really is, because I thought he should have been fired when they were 2-10 last year. But personally, for me, I think the Florida State Seminoles should run it back 1 more year with Mike Norvell, all the chips on the table, and say, hey, what are you going to do for us this season? Are you going to be able to recruit like you have in the past? You're not a bad recruiter. You just can't manage games. Like, you lose 4 games in a row this season, and now they just lost, of course, to NC State. They probably beat the Gators. They finished 6-6. They get a measly Weasley bowl game, Pinstripe Bowl, whatever bowl game it is. Oh, wow, that's a great season. But next year, you have to have us in top 25 contention the entire season, maybe fringe playoff team, because there is no excuses why this Florida State team has been like this for the past 2 seasons. I know with Jordan Travis, they should have made the playoffs and that whole team there. But now this is a new time. Next year, Mike Norvell and the Florida State Seminoles need to come to play. And it's been embarrassing. Since 2020, they have a 38-33 record through his tenure so far. I know they had the one great year with Jordan Travis, but I think Florida State is making a mistake. But then again, you can sit there and go, well, who's going to go coach them? What's the coaching pool like? Well, that the problem is with that too. The last thing I'll make about this point with Mike Norvell is, okay, you fire Mike Norvell. Now you ate the $100 million with the buyout from his entire staff. I think he's due like 50 or 60 million, whatever number it is. However, though, then you go and restart completely with a brand new coach and say, is that guy going to be better than Mike Norvell? Well, let's give it one more season and let's see how next season plays out. That's my first take about the whole Mike Norvell thing. The next thing I wanted to talk about was Lane Kiffin. I know I mentioned the Lane Kiffin stuff on the podcast last week about the whole ultimatum stuff and how he has a certain time now with Ole Miss, meaning after this Egg Bowl against Mississippi State on Friday, the decision is supposed to be coming out with Lane Kiffin. Now, if you're asking me, as a Florida Gator through and through, alumni, going to be a double grad from Florida, I'm not being biased here. I am going to sit here with a straight face. I personally think Lane Kiffin is going to be taking the LSU job, and it doesn't have anything to do with his daughter and dating one of the LSU players, Whit Weeks, I'm pretty sure it is. It has nothing to do with that. I think Lane Kiffin thinks to himself, now I don't know him personally, I can't speak for him. However, this is just my opinion about the whole Lane Kiffin situation. I think he sits there and he goes, well, LSU, I think, is more of a chance to get to a national championship than Florida. That's how I think. Personally, I think Lane Kiffin is going to be taking the LSU job. Now, this is another thing I wanted to bring up about the Lane Kiffin situation. It drives me absolutely crazy in college football that this can go on, right? Lane Kiffin and other coaches, you should not be having any sort of conversations with any other teams until your season is officially over. It is embarrassing to Ole Miss that this is going on. Lane Kiffin, he's 100% leaving Ole Miss. Now, I know everyone's saying he's trolling. He loves to play these mind games. He's done this in the past. He loves to post all these social media things. Lane Kiffin is sitting there and going, oh, all the attention is on me right now. Oh, I love this. If Lane Kiffin really wanted to be at Ole Miss for the future, he would come out and say, I am 100% committed to this program. I am 100% committed to being here. He hasn't done that once. He has shot down every single question asked about LSU, Florida, another job. Are you staying at Ole Miss? Now, I know, I get it. It gets tiring. It's very taxing as a whole, but you are the head coach of Ole Miss. And I know he said we are competing for a national championship. Just come out and say, hey, I'm focused on Ole Miss for the rest of this season. We have a game against Mississippi State this weekend, and we have the playoffs that we're focused on, and maybe an SEC championship. They've never made one. I love playing that game with Ole Miss fans on social media. However, though, Lane Kiffin needs, if he was smart, he would take the LSU job. And everyone's saying, why would he leave Ole Miss? Why would he do that? Well, one, LSU has a lot more money in NIL. Two, I think it would be a home run hire because they have more of a chance of getting to the national championship and with their recruiting and with their NIL and the NFL pipeline that they have compared to Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin has done a great job at Ole Miss, 100%. You can't sit here and say otherwise. I mean, they are a nobody without him, to be honest with you. Nobody even thought they were going to be in the position that they are this year with Trinidad Chambers, Kawan Lacey, and that offense. They're second, I think, in the SEC in points per game. Lane Kiffin's an offensive mastermind. Now, everyone's also going to say, why should anyone want Lane Kiffin? He's got baggage. He's never won anything. Well, he's a young offensive mind. He's been in the SEC. He knows what it takes to win. And if there's any blueprint there for you, look what he did with FAU and look what he's doing with Ole Miss now. Now, this part about Lane Kiffin. Florida's chips are all in on Lane Kiffin. It's going to be about if he wants to go there. I did see a thing last month saying that he would love to be like Spurrier. And people also, too, I said this on the podcast last week, and we clipped this on social media. Why wouldn't you want to coach for the Florida Gators? Everyone's like, Florida's a dumpster fire. They're a has-been team. They have 3 national championships. They won one in 96, 06 and 07. This entire time, they have 3 national championships, and they've won Heisman's. Oh, that was the past. That was the BCS. That was Tebow. That was Urban Meyer. Well, if any coach wants to live up to that, they would come to Florida. Florida's got a ton of money in NIL. Billy Napier can recruit his tail off. And 3, I researched this yesterday. People tend to forget Florida is one of the biggest biggest states and biggest college football states in the United States. So why wouldn't you want to go to Florida? Ole Miss doesn't have the recruiting like Florida. They don't have the pool to choose from like the Gators do. LSU, Louisiana is a huge football state. You've seen it. It's been out there, right? So people saying, "Oh, Florida's not a good program." They are 100% a great program. Every coach wants to coach for the Gators. It's not even being biased. They are literally one of the best college football programs of all time. It's not like we're sitting here saying, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, or it's like Mississippi State or Vanderbilt. No, it's the Florida Gators. The amount of history they have is absolutely insane. And they're still on the map in college football. Yes, they've had a bad season this year. They either finished 4-8 or they finished 3-9. But they knocked Ole Miss out of the playoffs last year. They knocked LSU out last year. The Florida Gators are not far from contending for a playoff spot next year. They have the pieces. They have the resources. They're just missing the coach. I don't want to harp too much on the Gators, but that's just how I feel. And the last point I'll make about Lane Kiffin, if Lane Kiffin decides this Saturday and says, "I'm out of Ole Miss. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me," Ole Miss should say to him, "You have no business coaching this team in the playoffs. Sorry, you backed out on us. You have no business being a part of this organization for the rest of the way." And maybe he walks away with his hands clean and says, "That's fine. I've done everything I can for this program," even though obviously they're competing for a national championship. But it would be an embarrassment. It would be a disrespect to the Ole Miss program if Lane Kiffin were to coach in the playoffs. Why? He doesn't want to be there. For what point? And if Lane Kiffin if Lane Kiffin says, "I want to leave Ole Miss this Saturday," if he says, "I'm out," players are going to enter the transfer portal. Players are going to not play in the playoff game. So I really feel bad for Ole Miss fans. I do. Obviously, as a Gator fan, I want Lane Kiffin. I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to have to probably go into the backpack and unzip it and see the other names, or go into the pick of the names out of a hat. But I think it's going to be LSU. But that's how I feel about the whole Lane Kiffin situation from what I've seen. And LSU supposedly offered him $98 million. It's not about the money for Lane Kiffin. It's never been about the money, according to him, because Ole Miss can offer him a bunch of money. Florida can offer him a bunch of money. LSU, another school, can call. Who knows? But it's about what Lane Kiffin's heart desires. And everyone's going to be waiting. We're going to find out on Saturday. And that's where I'll leave it. I mean, there's really not much else to say. Once we know Saturday, then we'll know. Maybe he turns the corner and goes, "No, I love Ole Miss. I've done a great job here. There's no point in me leaving. I'm still under contract. I'm making $9-10 million a year from them. Why go to LSU with their dumpster fire and the whole Brian Kelly situation? There's more pressure there to win a national championship. There's more pressure to win a national championship at Florida as well." So his heart could say, "My heart's in Oxford. I want to stay here." That's how I feel. All right, moving on to rivalry week in college football. Oh my goodness. Ohio State, Michigan this weekend. Joey, how are you feeling? Well, Ohio State has looked like the best team in the country in college football this entire season. This will be a great game. It's always a bloodbath type rivalry with Michigan and Ohio State. I think the spread I looked at was -10 for Ohio State, +10 for Michigan. Do I think Michigan is on an even playing field with Ohio State? No, I don't. I think Ohio State is light years ahead of Michigan, but that's not how this game goes. This game is always close every year. I mean, you saw last year with Michigan when they had Davis Warren at quarterback and they beat Ohio State at the Shoe in Columbus. Now this year it's at the Big House in Michigan. I personally think Ohio State is going to win this football game, but I think Michigan covers the spread. I think it'll be a great game. I trust Bryce Underwood enough to keep this game close. I don't think it'll be a blow. I don't see Ohio State blowing out Michigan at all. I have Ohio State winning this game. I've got them winning by a touchdown, but I think Michigan covers the spread. I don't like Sharon Moore as a coach. I don't like Ryan Day as a coach, but I think the way Ohio State has played, and they haven't been battle tested really since week 1, but I think when you put them on the playing field with Michigan, they win this game by a close margin. It won't be a blowout. That's exactly how I'm feeling. And it remains to be seen the health of Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith from the Rutgers game. But I think Ohio State is kind of preserving them for this game, and that's kind of how I feel. I think Ohio State's defense comes up big in the end against Michigan, and they win this in a tight game. I really don't have much to talk about the Florida State game. Joey, how are you feeling? Are you going to get excited? It's a rivalry game. All of my friends are Florida State. All of my friends are Florida. It's like a half and half type deal. It's just bragging rights for fun. I would just say, "Oh, we beat we beat Florida State in basketball and football. Whoop-de-doo, right? We're not even anywhere near a bowl game. So I don't really have much to say about that. But Texas A&M on Friday is going to be a great game as well. A&M, they win, they go the SEC championship game. Then you got Georgia Tech. So there's some good rivalry games this weekend, which I'm very excited about. Of course, we got the Egg Bowl. People will be tuned in for that, waiting for Lane Kiffin. His decision on Saturday. So, I mean, other than that, really, there really isn't much more. You got Auburn, you got the Auburn and Alabama, you got the Iron Bowl as well. Can Auburn upset Alabama? That game is always close there as well. That's another one there. But this was one thing I wanted to bring up on this segment of the college football. So recently, Lane Kiffin declared, in my opinion, the dynasties are over, and Steve Sarkisian basically says Lane talks a lot. So my opinion about the whole dynasty thing in college football, I've been wanting to talk to you guys about this because I saw this. Yes, 100% college football dynasties are over. With the way of the new landscape of college football with NIL, I don't see a team is going to dominate for the next 5 to 10 years like how Alabama was, how Georgia's been in the past, how Ohio State was years ago, how USC when they had their run, when Florida had their little run there. I personally don't see that. I know people are going to say, well, Ohio State looks like they're on their way. I don't think Ohio State's going to win the national championship. I think it's very hard to repeat in college football. And some people could say, well, we're relating this to basketball, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Ohio State Buckeyes are very similar because they've been dominating since last year, and they both won their respective championships in their sport. But if you're asking me, yes, I think college football dynasties are over. I'm relating this to March Madness as well. I think the Cinderella runs are over. I think NIL has become too powerful now where it's an even playing field. And everyone's going to say, Joey, oh my God, you're saying that? You're really admitting that? Yes, I understand the SEC isn't the only college football conference in college football. The Big Ten is right there with them as well. The ACC is third. It's the SEC and the Big Ten rivaling each other out. However, though, sticking on the dynasty part, yes, I don't see it because, and another thing too, it's very hard now in college football to build continuity with the program. Like you see with the coaches being fired, you see with players entering the transfer portal, you see with players opting out of bowl games. Players have always done that, but now more than ever, it's almost like, what can you pay me? We had the conversation with Sam Levitt on the podcast. We had the conversation about Sam Levitt on the podcast last week. Is Sam Levitt going to be entering the transfer portal? Everything remains up in the air at the end of the year in college football, especially now you have the National Signing Day, which has always been around, but it's even more of a factor now with NIL. So if you were asking me personally, wholeheartedly, I believe that college football dynasties are 100% over. I don't think you're going to be able to have the years like you had in the past. It's not, this has nothing to do with, years ago. It's how it is now. It is totally different. It is so hard to repeat in college football. It was years ago, and now it's even harder because you see these teams rebuilding with NIL. Virginia Tech just got a bunch of money at NIL. Like, it's all a guessing game at this point. Like, yes, it all depends on the players that play on the field and the recruiting, of course, but also at the end of the day, it's all about how much money you have now. And I think everyone understands that. But let's talk about this here. Is Kiffin right? Are traditional dynasties really being killed off by the transfer portal NIL? Yes, we just talked about that. I 100% agree with that. Or should CFP selection lean more on analytics, or is there value in human judgment legacy? It's so hard to say, really. I mean, we're going to see, in a couple short weeks here, when the college football bracket officially comes out, because you got championship weekend. That's actually next weekend. I'll be on a cruise for that, but I'll still be tuned in. Super excited for that, with this weekend as the last regular season weekend of college football. But the last point I'll make about college football here was this a funny one. Dan Lanning calls out the SEC schedules, hyping the Big Ten in the CFP debate. Oregon head coach didn't celebrate his team's big win over USC. He used the moment to call out SEC's late schedule, and said basically how we're not playing Chattanooga State on a Saturday. Now, I understand exactly where Dan Lanning is coming from, but don't forget, Penn State played Villanova in the beginning of the season. Ohio State played Grambling. You guys have played cupcake teams as well. So it's not just the SEC. This has to do with these schools scheduling these games. And personally, I don't like that Alabama's playing Eastern Illinois and the end of the season. I don't like that. I don't like that Florida's playing Long Island in week 1. I don't like that. I personally think you should play in conference, and you should be scheduling other schools that you think is going to be a competitive game. Like Florida State, they always play winner. That's a rivalry game. But Ohio State, like they've scheduled Georgia in the coming years. Alabama going to play Oregon. Indiana coming to play LSU, or Indiana coming to play A&M or Georgia. That's how I think it should be. That's why everyone says the NFL is so much better than college football, because you don't have Grambling playing Ohio State. You don't have Long Island playing Florida. Now, I understand these schools, Florida and these schools, are paying them to come there, and they're helping them out with NIL and resources, and they're trying to help their program as a whole. But like in the NFL, the Patriots, okay, they're playing the Titans. Okay, they're playing the Browns. Okay, they're a bad team, but it's not as bad as 70-0. Like, nobody in the NFL is getting blown out 70-0. Okay, people are going to say the Dolphins and the Broncos game when the Dolphins won 70-20. That's a rare occurrence, but that's why people like NFL better than college football. And yes, I understand Dan Lanning. We didn't play Chattanooga State today like some other places. Okay, yes, you played Indiana in the Big Ten. Now, Dan Lanning, you guys were in the Pac-12. You guys are the ones that wanted to come into the Big Ten and be the big dogs and show who you are. You're going to have a chance in the college football playoff to show that if you are the best team or if you're not. You guys haven't done it yet. I understand you guys beat Penn State earlier this year. You guys lost to Indiana. So you guys spouting off saying, oh, we're playing USC. You guys have always played USC when you guys played them in the Pac-12. So come down to the SEC and schedule a game like that. And let's see, put your money where your mouth is. Dan Lanning, you were a defensive coordinator at Georgia. You know what it's like to play in the SEC, if anybody. So that's how I feel about that. He argued just because good teams can become unranked, all of a sudden that shouldn't devalue Oregon's resume. No one's really devaluing Oregon's resume. You guys really haven't played anybody. We understand that you have instilled that toughness, that grit, that tenacity at Oregon, but come down, come play Alabama, come play Georgia, come play A&M, come play one of those teams, and let's see how it is, right? All these guys and all these coaches and all these organizations are all talking because of NIL and money. Well, let's just settle it on the field. Let's see in the playoffs how it happens. Let's see what happens this year. That's exactly all you have to say. From there on out, that's all I got to say. Do you think Lanning's call out is justified, or SEC schedule is really that soft late in the season? I mean, Georgia was playing Charlotte yesterday. I am an advocate for saying, no, you shouldn't be playing them. No, Ole Miss shouldn't be playing Citadel at the end of the season. No, I disagree with that. I am 100% an advocate for saying, no. I'm throwing up the Des Bryant X. How much should strength of schedule factor in the CFP committee's decision, and should comments like this sway them? No, comments like this shouldn't sway them. However, though, yes, those games should not be taken into account, which I don't think they are. The games that should be taken into account are the top 25 ranked opponents that you've played and the opponents that they've played. Now, of course, we're going to have the whole debate this upcoming weekend when Pittsburgh plays Miami and Notre Dame blew out Pittsburgh, but Notre Dame lost to Miami, and then, Notre Dame blew out Syracuse 70-7. So all of that conversation will be continuing. Joining me today is Avery Knows Ball. It's a pleasure to have her on the show. She is a rising sports content creator. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and talk football with you.
Likewise. Yeah, guys, before we officially continue with the show, make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, The Inquisitive Mamba. Make sure to follow Avery's TikTok at Avery Knows Ball. And Thanksgiving week here, we got some big Thanksgiving games this weekend, or this Thursday, along with the Black Friday games leading into the weekend. So a great weekend of football if you guys just love sitting on your couch like me, gaining some weight and having some fun. But let's get this show started. So I reached out to you on social media. So, like, what made you love football as a whole? That's one of my questions.
That's such a good question, and I think about this answer all the time, and I don't have a very profound one, but I guess I've always felt a very profound sense of community and belonging in a sport where I really shouldn't. And I don't know exactly why it is, but I grew up a Niners fan. I am a diehard 49ers fan. I try not to show that too much on my channel, but haven't missed a 49ers game on TV in 16 years, probably. They're my favorite thing in the world. Yeah, I was actually on Good Morning America as a super fan for the 49ers ahead of the Super Bowl.
That's awesome.
That's my jam. But my love for the 49ers kind of just spiraled into love for the NFL and the game as a whole. And I started to be so fascinated and interested in every single player, every team, big storylines pulled me even farther into the cracks of other franchises. And before I knew it, it just became a passion of mine. So I just really go on my channel and want to talk about more data driven side of football. I work in cybersecurity. I love IT. I love data. And I feel like that's a perspective that is talked about a lot, but it's fascinating, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think so many of us fans love to, be within a group of friends and pull out a stat that just like everyone's like, oh, mic drop. Like, there's so many amazing moments. And with NFL's new like data analytics and all of these things that they're offering us, gambling, like so much data is being brought to the table, and it's just endless fodder for discussion. So I think, long story short, the 49ers were my entree into my love for the NFL specifically.
All right, so then I got to ask you, since you're a Niners fan,
Yeah.
Brock Purdy or Mac Jones?
Brock Purdy. I was at the game last night. I saw
Mhm.
Mac Jones had his helmet on in the second half, and I was like, no, no, no. Like, let's keep Brock in. I think it's so important to be loyal to who you have on who you have. And that kind of brings me into what I want to also talk about with you, JJ McCarthy, right?
Oh
Ben's
yeah,
your
yeah,
start.
yeah.
Give us
So it's so tough. I have a lot of friends that went to Michigan. Obviously, JJ McCarthy won a national championship at Michigan against Washington. Was he bailed out by that talent? Like, he's undersized in the NFL. He's got a solid arm. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. But my biggest thing with JJ McCarthy is everyone says, should they bench him? Should they put him on the bench? Well, he's
Yeah.
going through the concussion protocol now. He was just eaten alive against the Packers this past Sunday. Like, he was sacked 4 or 5 times, and he had a really ugly, ugly stat line. But people tend to forget, Avery, he was the 10th overall pick. They expect
Right.
these quarterbacks to come in right away and just light the doors up. It's not like that. I
Some
understand
of
that you
them
went,
can.
say
Yeah.
that again?
Some of them can. I mean, like
Some,
Jackson
yeah,
Dart, like the
right,
best possible outcome for that first round draft pick, like,
right.
first quarterback pick, and then
Yeah.
you have JJ McCarthy. It's like you can't all be Jackson Dart.
And absolutely. And my biggest thing too is, like, he was the 10th overall pick. That can tend to be a project. Like, Bo Nix is very, very lucky. He's in a great situation with Sean Payton. A lot of these
Yeah.
quarterbacks don't get that opportunity. Kevin O'Connell's a great offensive mind. They went 14-3 last year with the Vikings, with Sam Darnold. Obviously, he left, but you did draft this guy 10th overall. So it
Yeah.
sucks to see them that they're doing this bad, but I feel like you have to ride the rest of the season out with him. And it's only one season. Like,
I
fans
agree.
expect. It's like, it's crazy. I'm
I
not
have a
saying JJ
question.
McCarthy. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
What do you think? So this is something I was thinking about. My opinion is that they should stick with JJ
Yeah, same.
McCarthy. Let him develop. Let
Right.
him develop. Let him get some reps in. But I think that if
Yeah.
Carson Wentz were available, I don't think I'd be saying that. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you saw last month when Carson Wentz wasn't even fully healthy, and they decided to go with Carson Wentz over JJ McCarthy. And
Yeah.
personally, before this season started, I said to my friends, and I'm right or I'm wrong. Like, I admit it. I said to them, I said, I think JJ McCarthy is going to struggle as a rookie in quotations, because he's a rookie. Like, people
Yeah.
expect week in and week out. Like, Shador Sanders, he just made his debut against the Raiders in his official first game. He was good. He wasn't great. He was 11 to 20, 209, and a touchdown and a pick. He had a really ugly interception. But
Yeah.
Caleb Williams wasn't amazing last year at his rookie year. I'm not saying JJ McCarthy is going to be the next Tom Brady, but let's give the kid some grace.
I agree. I agree. And I think there's so much emphasis put on the quarterback, and that could be positive or negative, right? Like, so,
Yes.
something that I did a video on recently was like the kind of like clutch phenomenon. So take Josh Allen, for example. He's clutch. We call him clutch, but clutch is
Yes.
usually like an indicator of some chinks in the armor, right? Like, you have to be
Yep.
clutch because your team got you in this spot. So that's an opportunity for a quarterback to be amazing, but it's still an indicator of something deeper. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to use that same lens when we're talking about JJ McCarthy, right? Like, yeah, and Shador Sanders. Like, yes, they maybe didn't perform at an elite level, but that's still an indicator that you weren't set up to perform at an elite level. So I think the
Yeah.
quarterbacks get too much praise and too much heat, conversely. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I was impressed by Shador, though. I was impressed by him. I was impressed. I have to
I
say.
I was too, and before we get into Shador, I did want to bring this up. People tend to forget Mac Jones for the Patriots was their first round pick out of Alabama. He had a great rookie year with Josh McDaniels, made the Pro Bowl as an alternate, and then from there it just kind of sputtered out. It went downhill from there. He goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's okay. Then he finds his home as a backup with San Francisco 49ers with Kyle Shanahan, and he's not bad. So maybe sometimes with players, it's a fresh change of scenery. You've seen it with Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold,
100%.
Daniel Jones.
100%. It's so much about fit, right? I mean, like Devontae Adams on the Raiders, horrible. Devontae Adams on the Rams, all-star. It's so much about fit. It's like a corporate job, right? Like you have the skills, but it's just how you're being used. And that part of it blows my mind. I can't imagine how frustrating that would be as a player to be on a team where you don't feel like you're being used correctly.
Yep.
There's so much to it. But yeah, let's talk about Shador.
Yeah, let's talk about Shador. So, well, Shador obviously came in last week against the Ravens, and everyone was freaking out because he didn't play that good. He was this, he was that. He looked like a bust. And then he finally got first team reps this week in practice, and he looked pretty good. Did you catch? I watched the game, and then I watched back every single throw he made. He made some good throws. He made a couple bad throws, but then again, I mean, the Browns, like, they don't have a ton of weapons. I mean, Jerry Jeudy had that one ridiculous fumble where he was high stepping. He had the one really good throw, of course, when he rolled out to the right and he saw Isaiah Bond over the top. It was just one-on-one coverage. But I think he's better than Dylan Gabriel. That's one thing I'll say for sure. Like,
100%. Yeah, I agree. That quarterback room, to me, God, it sounds contentious. I mean, they've had enough little jabs at each other in the media. And I think that there's no chance that all three of them are on that team next year. There's absolutely no chance. And I'd like to see Shador get a chance to really be a franchise quarterback. I mean, there's this phenomenon that I'm really interested in, and I won't really be able to speak as eloquently about it as I want because I haven't really fleshed it out in my head. But there's this there's this kind of precocious, for lack of a better word. And that doesn't necessarily mean a negative quality, but a kind of precocious quality about these young guys who are starting in their first year in the NFL. And it's kind of like easy to hate and easy to love, depending on what side of the ball you're on, right? And I just think it's fascinating because people got so riled up about Shador going into this season. I just thought that was so wrong. I mean, this is a young man. We should not be criticizing. I mean, I make a point to never speak negatively about someone's character or personality off the field. I just think that's so wrong. And this boisterous kind of precocious behavior that we're seeing from these young quarterbacks, I have a problem with it being so criticized because we expect these players to be showmen. That's why the NFL is the most viewed broadcast in America week over week. These are showmen that we're paying to perform a show, to be personalities, to be incredibly intelligent, ball-wise, and to be someone that we look up to and listen to, and then, play a 3-hour game and then go speak to the media and be eloquent and be positive and neutral. Like, it's a lot to ask. And so I think when we criticize young players for being boisterous and being somewhat precocious, that's a dangerous rabbit hole to go down. And so I'm excited to see him have a chance. I think he's got maybe an ego that I think it's going to benefit him because ignorance is bliss, right? He doesn't seem to listen to his haters, kind of like a Jameis Winston, right? Like he doesn't see, he's got horse blinders on. And I feel like that could be kind of a magical quality that it takes to be a franchise leading quarterback. I don't know.
I agree with you on everything you said. Everything you said was 100% accurate. The only thing I think about Shador Sanders is what sucks is he's on the Browns and everyone likes to clown the Browns, the Cleveland Clowns. Like he's in a very bad situation. And like you said, he can be a franchise quarterback. The only knock I have on Shador is he's not very mobile. And that's the biggest thing in this NFL now is the mobility. Like you see with Jared Goff, you see with Mac Jones, you see with Tua, they lack that mobility. And that's what really hurts them. However, though, he's got a pretty good arm. His IQ isn't the worst. He's going to get better as time goes on. But personally, another thing too, when you're on the Browns and the coaching staff, because personally, I don't think Kevin Stefanski likes Shador Sanders. He wouldn't even give him the game ball after Sunday. He didn't want to give it to Dylan Gabriel. I know he's focused on the team. I know your rookie quarterback has to earn it. However, though, I think in that situation there, give the kid the rookie game ball. He just won you the game. You probably would have lost against the Raiders. And I don't think he was the one that he didn't want to draft him. So I personally don't think he likes him. I don't think he likes the whole showman type thing with prime time. And he made the mistake because I think Shador Sanders is going to turn out to be a lot better than people thought he's going to be. And Kevin Stefanski doesn't like that because he isn't going to be able to take credit for it because he's the one that didn't draft him.
That's a really interesting point. There is that kind of coaching dynamic that their pride gets in the way, right? Like,
yes.
Oh, that's a
100%.
fascinating point. That's definitely something to that. I mean, that I always compare everything to the 49ers because I'm obsessed with them. I'm a closeted 49ers fan, but it feels like a Brandon Ayuk situation, right? Like Shanahan always has a history, and I love the guy. I respect him endlessly, but he's got a history of disliking showmanship personalities like Michael Crabtree, like he's Jennings, like these wide receivers that are kind of boisterous, who I love watching. I think America loves watching them, but some coaches just won't have it. And that's totally their prerogative, right? It's totally their prerogative to not have a team DNA like that.
I mean, you see with AJ Brown right now with the Eagles, how much of a distraction that's been.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. I relate this back to like corporate America and just an everyday 9 to 5 job. For example, right? AJ Brown can get away with that because he's in the NFL and he's making this company. They're at the end of the day, they're a brand, they're a business. They're 100%. Making them so much. He's making them so much money week in, week out with jersey sales, with fans coming to the game, with people posting about it, going things like that. But in a regular 9 to 5 job, the way he's acting, you're not allowed to do that. But it's the NFL, so they get away with these types of things, and that's what blows my mind. I'm like, what? Like Rashee Rice last year, like things like that. You can't fathom or picture it in your mind. You're like, it's the NFL. It's like politics. They get away with so much stuff because of the space they're in.
Beautifully said. I could not agree more. I love that analogy. I think you're 100% right. The off the field stuff with the Eagles has been really sad. Honestly, it's a waste of talent to be brought down by what I can only imagine is some drama, for lack of a better word. But I'm glad that AJ Brown, I'm glad that he got some touches this week. I'm glad to see that. He deserves it. He's put his time in the NFL, but it just seems like a mess. I don't know. I've heard that Jalen Hurts isn't the most beloved. And I don't want that to be true, but so many dynamics that are going into it. And
I just think that the thing about that too, from going to the Cowboys in the Eagles game, this isn't the first. No, go talking about it. I wish. No, yes. So to hear me out here with this point here, Kevin Patullo for the Philadelphia Eagles should be 100% fired. They should have fired him a couple weeks ago. And this is what blows my mind. You blew a 21-point lead. This isn't their first blown lead of the season. They blew a 14-point lead against the Broncos earlier in the season when they suffered their first loss. There is no reason why you're scoring 21 points in the first half and you don't score any points in the second half with all the talent you have on that team. Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, the great offensive line they have. And it's just crazy. I think the Eagles should come to a decision and go, the season is not over yet. We still have time to fire this guy. We can make the change now. Nick Sirianni, I made the mistake of promoting this guy to OC after Kellen Moore left for the Saints job last year. Get rid of this guy, take over the play calls, and fix the rest of your season because it has been a mess. The play, there's way too talented for that level for that product that they're putting out in the field. Credit to the Cowboys defense for coming up big, but the Eagles, there's no business why that they're blowing a 21-point lead like that.
I know. I agree. I think that, so the Eagles coaching staff is one that I'm admittedly not as familiar with, but I do struggle with the firing of coaches and personnel midseason. I mean, obviously we just saw it with Chip Kelly, Brian Dabble a little bit earlier.
Thank God Chip Kelly was fired.
I know. I feel for him, but it's just even the mighty fall. He was so great at one point, but the Raiders, we could talk about that for hours, and maybe we will. But
dumpster fire.
But the midseason coaching changes, I feel like, are sometimes not worth it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I'm obviously not in the back office. I'm not in the locker room. I don't really know, but it feels like potentially a lot of shakeup for not a lot of juice from the squeeze. I don't know. I mean, obviously the Giants needed to fire their coach. Like that was major, but I don't know. with Chip Kelly, it seemed like maybe the right move, but like, who do they have coming in? Greg Olson, is that what it is right now? An
No,
interim for Chip Kelly?
no, I don't. I'm not sure who it is
I don't
as
know
their
either.
interim OC. But at this point, it doesn't even matter because the Raiders
Yeah,
are a dumpster fire, and Chip Kelly personally should go back to college and never be
yeah,
allowed back in the NFL again with the play calling that he's been a part of with Geno Smith. And I think he when he was with Ohio State last year, it worked out perfectly for him. Chip Kelly's more of a college type coach. We saw him at
100%.
Oregon. UCLA, like that's how he is. He's better suited for college football. The play calling, his play design works way better. NFL, no more. No more.
I
And
think
that's
you're
the
right.
whole thing of the
Yeah,
coaching carousel. That's another thing that drives me crazy is the coaching carousel. It's like, oh, you got fired by the Raiders, you're back in college. Then you make the phone call. It's like the jobs that these guys get for their performances is insane. I still
I
can't
know.
process it.
I agree with that. And I think that I like your point about, Chip being a little better suited for college because my first instinct when I'm just watching these Raiders games, I try to catch everyone. I mean,
Yeah,
Bay Area teams, ex-Bay Area teams, but Chip Kelly is much more of a college play caller. He's
100%.
more modern, and Pete Carroll, love him or hate him, he's pretty traditional. He's ball security. He's kind of old school football, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they were the best yin and yang for that team,
Yeah,
but
I agree
we'll
with
never
you.
know because he's out of here. So, but either way, something has to change. I think the Raiders, gosh, I mean, I think about this question all the time. What do they need to be doing? Obviously, O line. That's the Achilles heel, the O line. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't take a genius to know that. And it's going to become now, to me, what I think is that it's going to become something that is out of the players' hands. It's out of even Pete Carroll's hands. It's going to become a back office issue where how expertly can you use your salary cap this offseason? How expertly can you draft, maybe not headliner draft picks, but a strong O line? How are you going to be able to maneuver off season that's going to make this team turn around? Because it's not the players. They have good talent. I know people argue with me about that, but Genty, Bowers, like they have talent. And
Mayer, yeah, Colton Miller,
yes,
yes, yes,
yes, even Bachman, they have talent. It's just going to
yep.
be a
Max
matter of how.
Crosby,
Yes,
Tyreek Wilson. So they have pieces. You're 100% right. But for me, I'm a strong believer in the landscape of the NFL now, and this is just my opinion. People may
yeah,
think I'm crazy for this. I think that they shouldn't be hiring coaches over the age of 65 or 60 years. Like, I just think you should be going in a younger direction. Like, why are you hiring Pete Carroll? For what reason? And you're bringing in Geno Smith from the
though.
Seahawks? Who? Pete
He's
Carroll or
not
Geno
great with the
Smith?
Raiders.
Who?
Oh, I
Geno
love Geno
Smith?
Smith. I think Pete
Oh,
Carroll is a legacy great. I mean, he on
yes,
the
I agree
Seahawks, I
with
hated
you.
him, but he's great. And then you get into the issue of, okay, let's go young. Okay, Mike McDaniel, how's that working out? I don't know. I
I mean,
hesitate to make a bold claim like that, but I love it that you do because I can talk about it without saying it myself.
73 years old, and there's no discredit to Pete Carroll. He was with the Patriots. He's with USC. He's one of two coaches. He's one of two coaches to win a national championship and a Super Bowl. It's Pete Carroll, and there's one other guy. I forget who it is. It's Pete Carroll and Jimmy Johnson. That's who it is because he won at
Okay.
Miami. He won in Dallas. Okay, so there you go, right there. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I understand Pete Carroll's track record. It's been great, but like the Raiders, they think that he's going to solve their problems in one or two off seasons. Like, how long do you think Pete Carroll's going to be there for? Like, you think you're going to be
Right.
automatically back into like AFC contention? Like Geno Smith, you extended him $40 million. Like, what sense does that make? I don't know. These teams make a lot of dumb decisions. I don't think Pete Carroll's going to be there much longer. I don't think he's going to want to. I think he's going to. Maybe he thinks to himself. Maybe he loves football just like everybody else, right? He goes, well, I've been here for a season or two. It's not working out the way I wanted it to. I'm too tired on my body. There's no direction that we're not moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And maybe he just walks away because I don't want to say it's hurting his legacy, but the longer you go on, Belichick's another
It could
example.
be, though. It could
Yeah,
be hurting his legacy.
it very well could be 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's like Russell Wilson. There was that tweet going around earlier this season, like Russell Wilson played himself out of the Hall of Fame. Bill Belichick could have coached himself out of the Hall of Fame. Maybe Pete Carroll will too. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I were him. I'd give it another season, but
yeah,
it's difficult. I mean, that franchise, that Raiders franchise, to me, the ebb and the flow of the NFL is one of the reasons I love the game. Right, like the rules put in place are theoretically supposed to make it so that every team has somewhat of a fair shot, and the turnover isn't like you don't have decades long dynasties. Like you really don't, maybe 10 years, but you don't have multiple decades long dynasties.
Only the
And
Patriots.
yeah, a little bit of the Patriots, and that's why they're
Yeah.
so iconic, right? Because they stood
Yeah.
out for that reason. But I don't know.
Crazy.
To me, I feel like the Raiders they've been in the dumps too long, and something's not making sense. So to your point, like something is wrong, and bad decisions are being made. You can't blame it on a bad season because it's time and time again history repeating itself as a pattern. But to me, going into the season, I don't know if it's just me. Like, what did you think? I thought they were going to be. I thought it was going to be a game-changing season for them because maybe it was totally like maybe this is just a first glance, rookie mistake, but I saw Tom Brady attached to this thing and I thought it's not going to fail. I mean, he doesn't put his name on something that doesn't do
Right.
well.
Right.
Maybe that's just such a basic opinion of it, but to me, that's what I thought. And then Pete Carroll, he doesn't lose. I don't know. It's crazy.
Right. So my honest opinion So my honest opinion, before this season started, I said the Raiders are going to be lucky to win 7 games. I've never been a Geno Smith guy. I know I literally said this on the podcast earlier this offseason. I said, nothing on the Raiders scares me. I know they have Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer. I know they had Jacoby Myers at one point before they traded him to the Jaguars. And then this was before the draft. I like the Ashton Genty pick at first, and then I thought to myself, you need a lot more than running back at pick number 7. Like there's got to be something else better than running back at 7. Like there's a lot more holes to be filled than a running back position. You have I know Genty was exceptional in college. He probably should have won the Heisman, of course, aside from Travis Hunter. But when you sit there and you go, there's a lot more pieces that need to be filled than running back. But that's how I felt. The Raiders, I think they should tell Geno Smith to pack it up. Well, I just understanding, like I said, the Browns, they'll probably win 4 or 5 games this year. The Titans, same. Like some of those teams, like I didn't expect the Patriots to be 10-2. I'm a Patriots fan. I didn't expect that to happen. I was like, maybe wild card if we're lucky, but this team is taking the league by storm. And everyone's going to say their schedule, but you play the teams on your schedule week in and week out. They're grind out fought wins. It's the NFL. The Bills lost to the Dolphins.
100%.
So
agreed.
It's like that narrative, I think, has gone out the window. They beat the Bills and the Bucks. So we'll see. They're going to play the Bills and the Ravens this month. We're going to see.
Right.
But I think they're a legit team in the NFL. Maybe not as good as the Rams. They've been an absolute wagon this season. The Rams.
Don't we see the Bills? Excuse me. Don't we see the Giants play the Patriots this weekend?
Right? This Monday night in Foxborough, the Giants play the Patriots. We'll get Jameis Winston. That'll be fun.
God, he's my favorite guy in the world. I swear, he's amazing.
I
think that'll be a fun game. To me, that's a very much a Drake May turning point because it's very easy and he's very talented. He's very talented, very smart. I'll never say that he's not, but it's pretty easy for a player like that to be written off as a flash in the pan. And it's kind of crazy because he's on the cusp, to me at least, of, you could be the NFL MVP or you could be a flash in the pan. And I feel like this game is kind of a DNA testing game for this Patriots team. So I'm excited to watch that. God, we got some good matchups, right? And then you got the Browns and the 49ers coming up. That'll be fun.
Bro. Shador. I think Shador is going to have but normally I would say, oh my gosh, the Niners defense, but you guys are so banged up. So no Bosa, of course, no Fred Warner. So we'll see. I mean, I think it'll be a good game. I still think is it in Cleveland or is it it's in Cleveland?
It's in Cleveland. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I'm excited
that'll be a good game.
I'm excited. I love Thanksgiving football. Isn't it just the best?
Cowboys, Chiefs, Joe Burrow's back. Oh, Packers, Lions. Black Friday, Bears, Eagles. Which one? Cowboys, Chiefs? Packers, Lions. Ooh. It's in Detroit because, week 1 was at Lambeau. That was when Micah Parsons made his debut. That's going to be a dogfight of a game because both those teams are fighting for the 1 spot in that division, as well as the Bears, who are 8-3, which nobody expected. So, and the Bears right now hold first place. I don't know who I think is going to win the game. I didn't even look at the spread, but it's going to be a good one. I remember those teams usually play each other on Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think so too. Jameer Gibbs had a hell of a game last week against the Giants too. I mean, he's a bolt of lightning. He's like, I don't know if you've ever been on the the Hulk ride at Universal, but he like the purple thing, he shoots out of it like boom. That's literally how fast he is. He's
Take that
a
I'll
joy to
only say on
watch.
your podcast and not my own page because I don't like to be too decisive and alienate people, but I think the Lions have the fundamentally most talented players in the NFL. That team has the most raw talent. And maybe that's not a hot take, but Lions fans will agree with me. They have, Jimmy, everybody on that team is insane. We're at the point where Sam Laporta, who's an outstanding player, is like unmentioned because of how great their team is. And I love Dan Campbell. I love his coaching style. I don't know. That's going to be a really fun one.
I'm excited. And then you have the Cowboys and the Chiefs, which I'm even more excited for. I've got some friends that are Cowboys fans, like diehard Cowboys fans. They just beat the Eagles, of course, coming back down from 21. George Pickens is taking the league by storm. Chiefs are in a must-win situation. Like that might be the most watched game of this entire season. Like I can't wait for that.
One's gonna go?
I think it'll be a close game, but I feel like the Chiefs are going to win. Like I just feel like they're in playoff mode. Like they have to win, but Dallas has looked good the past 2 weeks. I know they played the Raiders and everyone's like, well, it was a free spot on the bingo board. And then they played the Eagles and there was a juggernaut type game there, but their defense looks a lot better with the resurgence. They got Overshown back. They traded for Quinn Williams. They got Deron Bland back. So they traded for Logan Wilson. So, and they've looked good. The offense is clicking. I don't know. It could go either way.
I read a stat that I think the Chiefs are the most efficient offense at home in the NFL. So,
except the games in Dallas, Jerry World, always in Dallas, always in Dallas on Thanksgiving. That's like a sacrilegious if it's not. It's right. Like Cowboys. Primetime, America's team, they're putting that game is always there. Cowboys are always home on Thanksgiving and they're always on primetime. It's like they're like the Lakers, like they're always going to be televised, even if they could be 1-15 or 1-16, they will still be on TV. But I'm excited for that game. It'll be good.
Me too. Then, I know there's so much to look forward to. I love it.
The night game too. Joe Burrow's back against the Ravens. The Ravens and the Bengals will always be because
I'm going to take the Ravens on that one.
Yeah, no T. Higgins for the Bengals, no Trey Hendrickson, so it's Jamar Chase and Joe. I'm excited. I love watching Joe Burrow.
He's suspended
though? No, he got the 1 game suspension, but he's back. Yeah,
okay, that already happened
against the Pats. Okay. But T. Higgins got hurt, so they can't. Yeah, so but I'm looking forward to those games.
I am too. I'm thinking that if Derrick Henry can run, if Lamar's feeling loose, it's the Ravens game. That's my call. Yeah.
So the Ravens are on a 5-game win streak right now. They're 6 were they 1-5 or are they 4-game win streak? 5-game win streak. 5-game win streak. And Lamar Jackson is battling a toe injury. They came out with that yesterday, so it remains to be seen. I'm sure he's going to play, but who knows if he's 100%. But it's always fun when Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow go up against each other. It'll be a close game. I won't be a blowout. It'll be tight. I'm
agree.
Looking forward to that.
And then you have football this year. Yeah.
Right. And then you have Friday's game, the Eagles and the Bears on Black Friday on Amazon Prime. So like those 2 days, and then you have college football on Friday as well. So this weekend of football is probably like the best weekend in season because of all the games you have, aside from playoffs, of course. But like this weekend is just packed with. Then you have all the Thanksgiving leftovers as well. So
yes, we have a lot to talk about next week. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So we talked about most of the NFL stuff going on. We talked about Shador with his debut. Was there anything else that you saw you wanted to mention that you wanted to talk about? We talked about JJ McCarthy.
Well, I know we'd bantered around the idea of talking about NFL MVP, and I know I want to hear your thoughts on that before we wrap, and then we could talk about that a little.
All right, so who I think the NFL MVP is going to be, obviously I would love for it to be Drake May. Of course, as a Patriots fan, he's doing more with less, but Stafford's the MVP. The fact that he came back with this back injury and they're 9-2 and he has 30 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and he's been on an absolute tear and they're dismantling teams and they beat the Seahawks and the Bucks back-to-back weeks and Stafford's looked superb. You've got to give it to Stafford. I just think from here, he's the MVP. But the other side, who I think should be in the MVP conversation, is Myles Garrett. People may say I'm crazy for that, but when you have 18 sacks and you're 5 sacks away from the record, you've got to sit there and go, this guy is absolutely dominating offensive lines. He is literally putting his fingerprints all over this game. 18 sacks in 11 games. That's unheard of. But people may call me crazy for that. But I don't think it's a far-fetched statement to say he shouldn't be in the conversation. I'm not saying he's going to win.
Has a defensive player ever won NFL MVP? I know
As
a
a
running back
defensive-
has won it twice before, but
Yep, Adrian Peterson won it in 2012 or 15. I need to look that up. Adrian Peterson won it. I know that. Or was it 2015 he won it?
I was curious about this because I was looking at who decides this, right? Like, what is who
voters.
decides who MVP is? Yeah, it's voters. It's like analysts and broadcasters.
I knew it. I knew it. I'm sorry. I knew it was Lawrence Taylor. God damn it. I should have said it. I knew it. 1986. That's right. I do. That is one thing with football. I knew it was Lawrence Taylor. So yes, Lawrence Taylor and Alan Page are the only two defensive players ever win an NFL MVP. It's not going to happen with Myles Garrett, but he should be in the conversation.
I understand. Well, if he's in the conversation, then do we say Jonathan Taylor's in the conversation?
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But the NFL is going to give it to quarterbacks because that's the most valuable position on the field. But this is my thing, too. People don't like to have this argument. Jonathan Taylor has had an exceptional season this year. He might break LT's LaDainian Tomlinson's single season touchdown record. However, Saquon Barkley last year had to hit the 2K mark. He didn't break Eric Dickerson's record because they didn't play him in the last game of the season. Is it more of a testament on their offensive line, or is it more of a testament on the of the running back? That's all I'm saying. Those are two generational. Saquon Barkley's a generational running back. Jonathan Taylor is a great running back as well. But when you sit there and you go, take away Daniel Jones has been good for the Colts this year. Take away him and put in
MVP caliber. Yeah.
Right. So
and Myles Garrett is MVP caliber without having the
and he's doing it himself. And he's doing it himself.
Yeah.
This was something I came up with last night. This wasn't anything I've seen on media. It was just something that I saw because if you're a defensive player like that, like look at Aaron Donald all those years, how dominant he was.
Yeah. I like that.
JJ Watt could have won MVP at one point. Now we take defensive ends to a certain level of like, well, they're getting paid quarterback money. You just saw Micah Parsons, Garrett, TJ Watt. So
Bosa, I think, is super highly paid, one of the highest players in the NFL.
Bosa as well.
I feel like the MVP conversation, it's not worth anything until the playoffs because for whatever reason, it's always, and this, I have no data to back this up. It's just my opinion, but it feels like whoever makes a splashy playoff run or looks super shiny in the playoffs is the MVP, forsaking the season, the regular season. That just is my feeling about it, but I'm sure there's so much more nuance to it, but I don't know. Lots to look forward to. I think that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's probably going to go to Matt Stafford. I think he was minus 210 when the DraftKings odds or the betting odds came out Monday after his exceptional performance against the Bucs. Like they dismantled that Bucs defense, and I don't think the Bucs defense is that good as it is. But I mean, he just lit the doors off, and the fact that he's 37 years old and he's doing this. I mean, I feel like they're going to give it to him because he's never won an MVP. He has a Super Bowl ring. It will solidify his case. And if he wins a ring this year, a second ring. Oh, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He probably already is, but it even solidifies his case even more.
Yeah, I agree with that. He deserves it. Certainly. Definitely a legacied player.
Oh, absolutely. So we talked about the Thanksgiving games. We talked about the Thanksgiving, the games as well. But I think to end the show, a little fun segment here, Thanksgiving segment. Okay. I love Thanksgiving. Everybody does, but I have to ask you, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Oh my God, a side. Well, don't make fun of me, Joey, but I'm a pescatarian, so I haven't eaten
shoot.
Years, so no gravy for me, no stuffing.
All right.
I don't know, mac and cheese. I love
That's a good
cheese.
One. Yeah, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. Those are that's a good one. Okay.
Dessert. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Well, I'm not a big pie guy, that's for sure. Man, that's tough. I know everyone is all about the desserts. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite dessert. Maybe that's crazy to say, but I don't know. What about you?
Healthy. That's healthy of you to say. I have such a big sweet tooth. I got to go pecan or pumpkin pie. Stoked for that. So excited. Okay.
So I do apple pie, but I have to have vanilla ice cream with it because it makes it taste better.
You're an ice cream with pie person. There's two types of people: ice cream with pie or not. And I am
exactly.
I am
okay.
Sam's ice cream.
That's funny. Yeah, no, for me, it's apple pie with vanilla ice cream. I like dessert, but I'm not like into it as much as I probably should be. But
No, no, no. You don't need to be.
after the turkey with the tryptophan, I'm toast. Like once like that second game comes on, I don't even think I'm touching dessert.
Yep. Yep. Well, we do have a lot to enjoy. And then, maybe after the last game's over, go in for seconds and then fall
Yes, like
asleep
a
for 12
turkey,
hours.
maybe like a turkey sandwich or something. Yeah, exactly. And then I don't Black Friday shop, so I'm home. I don't. I just don't really get into it as much as I used to. I don't want to be around all those people. Germs. People are sick. That's how you get sick. And there's way too many
Yeah.
people. I'm like a
I don't
germaphobe
know
when
if
it comes to
people
that.
forgot that the internet exists, but you don't need
Right.
to go Black Friday shopping at 4 a.m. at Walmart or Target. Like it's
No.
all in the World Wide Web. Yeah.
Like
We don't have to do
the people go crazy for it every year. Then you have Cyber Monday as well.
Cyber
So it's like,
Monday. That's kind of cool.
yes, Cyber Monday is a good one, but yeah, I don't really get into it like I used to. Like as you get older, like I don't really want to be around
Yeah.
all those people. I'm good.
No, no,
I
I'm
will
good.
be I'll be much happier sitting on my couch or hanging out with my friends and watching these games.
Yeah,
If you need to contact me, you know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be
100%.
watching football for umpteen amount of hours, especially with college and then NFL. Like I got the
Oh,
four
you're a
screens
kindred
going.
spirit. I love
I
it.
am Oh, this is my favorite time of the year. I get sad when there's no football season.
I just said this to my
I
mom the other
love
day.
it.
Mental health suffers greatly after
Oh, me too.
February. I'm like, oh my god. And then when I always forget, like when football season started, like August, September this year, I was like,
Yeah.
I forgot how much I needed this. And then
Yes.
it ends. It's taken so quickly.
I know. It's a
But
college
now I
football. The
love it.
regular season's over this weekend already for regular season. So it's
Wow.
like my Gators are done already. It's crazy. It's like the time goes by so quick around this time of year.
It really does. I know. It's from now until New Year's is a blur, but we have
It's
football to
like
keep us solid.
I feel like it was just Halloween. I'm like, it's literally Thanksgiving in 2 days.
I
it, it
know.
it blows my mind. So do you guys have any like weird Thanksgiving family traditions, or like is there anything like you guys do specifically? Because like we
That's
don't
such
really
a cute
have any.
question. My family's really small and we're really
Okay.
close with each other. My mom, my brother, and my dad.
Hmm.
And we just kind of the time with the four of us is our favorite time. Like we are the happiest.
Yeah.
So we are probably just going to be the four of us eating, watching football, maybe go on a walk, play with our dog. Super simple. We keep holidays very simple, and I do
Yeah.
definitely cherish that. What about you guys? What are you doing in Florida?
So we'll have some like stuff here doing that we'll do in the morning, and then later in the afternoon, I'll most likely go to my friend's house with his family and kind of celebrate with them as well because they invited me.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, like tradition wise, we don't really have that. It's more Christmas, I guess. Like last year for Christmas, we did like a Christmas thing, and I wore the bunny suit from Christmas Story, and we
Oh,
did the jelly beans and all that kind of stuff, and we exchanged gifts. So more for Christmas than Thanksgiving than anything. Like I'm wearing red
yeah.
right now because we're getting closer to Christmas. I love Christmas time. All right, let me ask
I
you
love
this.
your energy. I love your just unbridled joy for holidays. I feel the same way, and not people look at me crazy sometimes, but
No,
I
you have to
totally
be.
relate.
It's once a year. Why wouldn't I get excited? Like people
No,
like don't be negative about it. Like I know he's just a fat guy in a red suit, but who cares?
like
Like,
what are we too cool for Christmas now? Never,
no,
never.
no, I'm not. 27 years old.
No,
I'm never gonna get too old for Christmas. I still get excited opening gifts. I don't care.
I
I
agree.
don't
I
care. Like
agree.
even if it's a gift card, whatever. I still get excited. Just the joy of it because it's once a year. So,
Oh,
but
it marks the
uh
passage of time. Is wonderful.
yes, the Christmas movies, like those are my like
Yes,
Christmas
yes.
Vacation, great Christmas movie. Christmas Story, great. Four Christmases, like I love all those movies. How can you not? Like they're
I
great.
don't. I mean, I favor the cartoon Christmas movies very
Okay.
heavily. Like Grinch, Dr. Seuss version of
Hmm.
Grinch, like any Rankin Bass sort of older, like 60s Frosty,
Oh
Rudolph, like
wow.
the
Okay.
cartoon stuff is like where I
Yeah.
go hard. Yeah, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I said, what was your weirdest Thanksgiving tradition? And you said, what's the ultimate Thanksgiving dessert? You asked me, pie or cake. Oh wait, this one here. This is a good one. When is it okay to put up a Christmas tree? Early November, Thanksgiving weekend, or wait until December?
My gut says like mid-November you can. Like if I walked into your house and you had a Christmas tree at mid-November, like you would go up 10 points in my book.
It's
That
over
it
there in the
could be
corner.
very unique to me. That could be very unique to me, but there's some
We have
people,
ours up
Joey.
now.
Some people wait
Yeah.
until like the week before Christmas. What are you,
Mhm.
nuts? I do not
Yeah, that's
understand that.
crazy. No,
Yeah.
December 1st, like, but my mom loves putting it up early, but no, it's December,
Yeah.
like, fine, December 1st is fine, but I like also early on too. Like, I like it early
Heck
on
yeah.
too. I don't mind. It makes the house feel full too, you know? It's like,
Cozy,
yeah,
100%.
cozy, exactly. With the ornaments, the lights, and all that. But I think for me, I think before Thanksgiving is fine. Like right before that. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
waiting until the first week of before Christmas is absolutely insanity. That's like diabolical.
It's
Yeah, no.
diabolical. Like those people should be on a list that is watched closely. I
Yeah.
don't.
They should be on the naughty list. They should be getting
Uh
cold.
huh.
If you're putting your Christmas
Uh
tree
huh.
up after Thanksgiving or the first before Christmas, the week before, crazy, crazy.
Wild. It's
And
unpatriotic, truly.
your Christmas tree has to be green, not blue, not purple, not pink, not green. None of those outlandish colors. I guess white's
Agreed.
okay, but white those are boring. You gotta have some
I don't want to
pizzazz to it.
alienate people. You know how I am about this. I don't want to alienate people, but I prefer green. I prefer green.
I think everybody
Personally.
does, right? Real tree or fake tree?
I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't care either. Real trees are way too much work.
Yeah, and I guess they're pretty expensive too.
They
I don't
are.
know.
They are. Fake tree, call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy. No leaves to clean up that are falling. I'm all for it. Well, I have to say, I love your energy. I love getting to talk with you. I'm
Yes.
really honored that you
Oh,
found
of
me
course.
worthwhile to talk football with
Yeah.
because really one of the greatest joys of my life is
Really.
being an NFL fan. So thank
Oh,
you.
well, it worked out perfectly. Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I had a great time. Your football knowledge is definitely up there for sure, and it's great. You know, I love having these types of conversations. We'll definitely be rooting you on with your page and stuff like that. And
You too.
yeah, for sure. So thank you guys again. Thank you as always for tuning in to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. I hope everyone has a great, safe Thanksgiving week. I hope, and also make sure to follow Avery's TikTok, Avery Knows Ball. Hopefully, we'll have this episode out maybe later today. Definitely got to get it out before Thanksgiving for sure. A lot of good clips to come. But as always, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We just had 1,100 followers on TikTok. Your support means the world to me. Feedback is always appreciated. Avery, it was a pleasure to have you on, and we will see you guys next time.